everybody, and welcome back to Journey to the Farlands. I'm going to boot up my world, which is around 9 gigabytes, but of course that's not the true world size. But um, anyhow, I guess we'll get out of this tree in a hard place, or tree between a, or what did I say? Bed between or between a bed and a hard place is what the last episode was called. I think I said at the end of the episode, I said between between a rock and a hard place. No, that's the saying. I don't remember what I said, but I said something different. All I know. But anyhow, welcome back to another episode. I don't know when the last commentary was. Sometimes I'm usually like, oh, it's been a bit. I think it has been a bit because I've taken another few days off and filmed here and there when I can. But things are a little different now. Of course, I'm not gonna be focusing on school anymore because of course I don't have school. Well, other than one exam, and then after that, after next Tuesday, I'm pretty much I'm home free. Although I guess I already am home free, but it's just stuff. But yeah, the push to the Farlands begins, I guess, and I guess playing more of Newcraft. I'm hoping. Yeah, it's been a bit since I've seen you, Jerry. Welcome back. Welcome. Uh, I'm doing a nice chill episode today. I was thinking of playing Newcraft today, but I might give it a bit more of a solid play session. I want to do some Journey, so I'm going to do that first, and then if I have time, I might get around to Newcraft. We'll see. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for, of course, the Journey accelerating, and of course, uh, well, of course, Newcraft as well. Looking forward to going back on that. I don't know if I mean, I might stream when I get back. I've been like streaming every time I played on it now, but I do want to do like a netherite mine, and I think that might be a good episode to do. Do like a longer play session, then I can edit it. I got hit with this awful sickness again, so I've been rotting on the couch today. Oh, that's too bad. Hope you start feeling better soon, Cherry. I haven't been sick in like forever. It's been a while, since like last fall, I guess. I think I did have like a cold or something or other, but it wasn't anything crazy. But it's been mad weather. Well, I mean, not really actually. It's been a bit nicer lately. It got really cold for a while, and it was snowy. Like it was like Monday. It was terrible driving on the roads. Like the roads were just awful. There was like a few inches of snow, so there was like you had to like drive in like the tread marks of the person ahead of you because otherwise you'd be like in like a few inches of snow, and that's not very good to friction wise. Yeah, I need to get on Newcraft. Yeah, oh yeah, me too. And the other members who I go to school with, they said that or at least one of them said that they are gonna play on the server more now that I'm not at school anymore. Because they continue school, but I don't, because I already have moved forward of course, the year before. So they might play a bit more. We'll see. I know the one said he wanted to play tomorrow because he's not doing anything. So that'd be cool to see some new peoples potentially playing. And I've also been kind of in like one of those lulls as well, or not lulls, but like one of those things where I just have been reminiscing a lot about Newcraft because apparently recently it was the 2-year anniversary of a marriage on Newcraft 2. I didn't stream all that stuff, of course, but it's really funny, just the whole story of the marriage and stuff on a Minecraft server. And it was 2 years since then. I've been thinking a lot about Newcraft 2, which was kind of the end of the original Newcraft in my eyes. Before it really just became this. We kept trying, kept on trying, and didn't really learn anything for a good long time. Going to oh, that's good. I guess I don't know. It's good to get back in the rhythm of things. Maybe. Although Newcraft 2, like the original Newcraft 2, had a lot of marriages. There was like two, I remember. There's two marriages. Yeah, I think there was. Yeah, there was the two marriages, and then there was an actual couple who played on the server, or people who played on the server. And then they got together in IRL, and they were like a couple in the server. Like they did stuff together. That was in, I think, Newcraft 3 that happened. Although they were on the server in Newcraft 2, but they were just in different areas. I think me and Devin were partnered up with one of them for the futuristic district. That would have been a fun season to have filmed. I actually might have kept doing Newcraft 2. You know, Newcraft 2 might have actually been a long season had we streamed it. I thought it was problematic, but I think it was just about as problematic as Newcraft 1, which, I mean, got by. I think the Newcraft we have now is a bit better, just in terms of like, it's just a lot of fun, really. And of course, it's not like a lot of strangers are on the server, because back then it was like friends of friends of friends, sometimes even. It was just a bit hectic. Me kind of orchestrating things. And I definitely have done some interesting things regarding like owning servers and stuff in the past. Of course, being able to close stuff at any given time lends itself to some interesting discussions for sure. So I've been trying to veer away from that stuff because I'm like, it's not really. Yeah, every server is at least a little bit problematic. Yeah. Yeah, looking back on Newcraft, I gave it a really hard time back when I ended Newcraft 2. I kind of forcefully ended Newcraft 2. Me and a bunch of people kind of agreed that the season shouldn't continue. Even though it probably could have in reality. It was probably better. It was probably a better decision to have kept it running than to do Classic Craft, which was what we were trying to make into Newcraft 3 at the time. We tried to make it Newcraft, like a whole Newcraft, like SMP. And that was challenging. And then we eventually did do a Newcraft 3, but I think the timing was just all off. I think Newcraft 2 definitely could have continued. We just it was a bit of a slow burner after a while, I will admit. I think it peaked really early on. Like Newcraft 1 kind of peaked towards the ending. I mean, I'd argue it peaked at the beginning, but of course it was a lot fewer members in the beginning. There was only like 6 of us compared to like the almost 20 that there were later on. And of course even more going into Newcraft 2. But I think it just makes me realize that I just need to kind of consider who I'm adding. Like there was a lot of good members on Newcraft for sure, but there's definitely some questionable additions. Just because I was like, oh, we don't really have much of a standard for people or adding people, which was kind of a bad decision on my part. And then I eventually started doing this counseling thing where, not counseling, but me, Brody, and Devin would decide whether someone was worthy to be added. But I don't think that either really worked either. I might consider some different tactics for Newcraft in the future in terms of like adding new people, but for now I'm going to keep it the way it is. I'm pretty happy with the member list, and I just want it to. I really just want Newcraft to go on. Like I haven't had an SMP go on for longer than a few months in forever. It's been so long. So to have something like Newcraft, of course the new stuff. I'm not talking about the old stuff, but to have that like succeed would be epic. I want Newcraft to last a bit too. Yeah, because Newcraft, well, even like the way we play it right now, this still doesn't hold. Like, I don't think this still holds a candle to how fast-paced Newcraft 2 was, because it was already like boom, because it was only 4 months that it was around. We closed it in, I think, March. Was it March? March 16th, I think we closed it. And I will admit, things definitely did slow down. People kind of tapered off the shopping district was pretty nice. I think had it kept on going, stuff might have sparked back into or moved back into motion. I kind of just felt like some big changes had to be made, and everyone was just like, do a season 3. And I was just like, okay, we'll do a season 3, but we'll do a completely different direction where I cull off 2/3 of the member list and we just strip it back, which is something I've done numerous times, a plethora of times since that case. I don't think it's a bad idea to keep things simple, but it just didn't work in Classic Craft's case. I think you can definitely learn a lot from that the early SMPs I've hosted and even the recent ones. I basically signed myself up to get extremely busy soon, which definitely doesn't help. No, I don't think being busy is bad. Like, I mean, I'll be able to play a bit more, but I don't want to force expectations for the server. I tried doing that too much in the original Newcraft, and it never worked. You're um oh, what's the word? Your words are falling on deaf ears essentially when you're like, oh, play more, and then people are like, well, we can't. You kind of gotta level yourself, and that's what I've definitely tried to do. I'm definitely not going back to that place where I was in Newcraft, where I'd be so belligerent even sometimes and just be really hell bent on getting people to play. Well, not hell bent, I'd say that's pretty extreme, but I would definitely turned up the heat because I wanted it to succeed. But I don't think you have to be 100% consistent for it to work entirely. You can do a pretty loose schedule and it'll still have some level of stuff going on. I think that's where bringing more people in will be kind of neat if I ever get around to it. Because I know it's not a very successful series on my channel, like statistics wise. I don't really care much for statistics usually, but I just noticed that Newcraft, mainly the SMPs in general that I post, aren't very popular. Whereas Journey to the Farlands gets hundreds of views, but I think that's just because of the novelty of the series compared to Newcraft, which is something that's SMPs are done to death. They're milked for every last bit of worth. That's good because my schedule is getting so packed that I ordered myself a planner to keep track of everything. Wow, yeah, you're busier than I am. Although I've never really been busy. I don't do like extracurriculars. I don't go out very often. I, you know, I work, and that's where I'm at now. Of course, is work. I got a little bit of school stuff. I guess, like I said, like the exam, and then that's it until the fall for me. So I'm gonna be taking it easy. I like to take it easy. I don't really like being super busy. I think that's what the past semester has taught me. That I mean, I'm sure university will change my mind one way or another, but at least right now, I really want some downtime to just do stuff and enjoy journey and whatnot and all that stuff. This has been a busy, even the past year has been really, really busy and fast paced. So it's nice to have a bit of breathing room every once in a while. Well, for me, it's like a few months of breathing time, but oh well. Well, I'm changing my scheduling for work, so I'll be working a lot more, I'm sure, as time goes on. I don't know if Journey will exactly pan out completely as I'm expecting it to, but as long as I'm kind of keeping myself busy now. I gotta get some wool. My inventory is getting full. I mean, it's always full. It's always on the brink of being full. That's kind of the point. Keep pushing the date ahead up to Minnesota back. I think, well, Newcraft. coming back, I think was mainly inspired by Hermitcraft, and Hermitcraft 9 ending, and them doing the season 10. There's definitely a lot of excitement about season 10 of Hermitcraft, which I think is, well, I'm not saying that the actual plan is for them to start in like February, but that's what I'm assuming, because January is generally the downtime for streaming, or not streaming, just for like content creation in general. Right now it's sitting at August, which is wild since the original plan was June. Yeah, it's rather wild. But I think Newcraft's always, even before we rebooted, I guess multiple times, has always been based around Hermitcraft, or something to that extent. Like the original Newcraft was just based around a few friends wanting to have some fun. That was literally all Newcraft 1 was. It was even like, it was around the time of Dream SMP and all that, but it wasn't really inspired much by it until later on when we did the election and all that stuff, and it really started mirroring Dream SMP. And then I really I think what I enjoyed most about the old stuff was that I kind of enjoyed when it found its own place, then it was its own place, and it wasn't a kind of knockoff of anything. Like Newcraft 2 was inspired a lot by Hermitcraft Season 8, which had the districts, although we took it quite literally with like the season Hermitcraft 6 approach, where they'd have like districts being very specific themes, and you kind of have to follow the theme to be in that district. Although I'd say we were a little bit, our district was a little, our idea was a little bit different to how Hermitcraft did it, because Hermitcraft was more this general area of an island, or of like the map was like medieval. You build everything medieval in this area, but it could span like a few hundred blocks, whereas the districts in Newcraft 2 spanned only a little bit. Like it was only like someone's base and like the neighboring a few bases around it. I don't think they were really all that fleshed out. I mean, it was like the most meticulously planned SMP we'd ever done. Me and Devin planned it so far in advance. It was probably the most anticipated season of Newcraft for sure, even beating the reboot of Newcraft, which I'm still excited about. I've pushed for Newcraft coming back a lot. Like I think Java I wanted to call Newcraft 5, because it did season 1 did have Newcraft 1's original seed, which was kind of neat to see it in the 1.20 lens. I kind of actually forgot that that Java had that seed because it looked so different. I think the biome layout was somewhat similar, although the mountains make it indistinguishable from the original seed. And not that any of you guys would know what Newcraft 1 looks like anyway, because it's it wasn't streamed. I don't know if I have many world downloads of it, because most of them got erased. I got some on my PlayStation, but that's about it. Got a lot of screenshots of Newcraft 1. I could always show those off at some point, because there's some pretty cool builds in Newcraft, I'll admit. Newcraft 1's full year, just so many different bases and things. And then Newcraft 2's 4-month runtime, which also had some really cool bases. Just that weren't really all that much fleshed out. I think Newcraft 1 and 2 both had that in common, though. Neither season had fleshed out bases fully, because Newcraft 1's thing was that everyone was always moving. There was always like some kind of war or conflict, or just some general reason to be kind of grouped up with your friends. I think that's where we all kind of leaned back then, was because that's how the server worked. People were added in waves, and everyone was always gravitating towards their friends, which makes sense. When you add people to a server, they'd gravitate towards the people they have the connections to, but it just made for a very split server. Like the server was very split down the middle a lot of the time, or maybe not even down the middle, maybe just like in a lot of different ways. There was definitely a lack of unity. And then in Newcraft 2, I think it was better, but there was still not very much cooperation going on between the groups, like the districts, which they kind of ended up becoming factions in their own right anyway. Even though districts were only meant to really be like oh, I'm building my base here, and then people ended up making it like, I'm building my base here, but I'm like only gonna hang out here because there wasn't really anywhere to hang out in that world. And I did help out with community projects. I think I did a lot of community projects back then. Like I helped one of the members clear out a chunk of the ocean for their base, and I helped another member clear out an entire mountain. Me and one of the other members helped clear out a mountain for someone. We had maxed gear like week one. Like the first few weeks. It was a lot like Newcraft this time around, except the pacing was a lot different because we fought the Ender Dragon. I think the second weekend, or maybe even the first weekend. I think Brody and Lumdine fought the Ender Dragon the first weekend. I believe so, because they did it on their own thing, accord, and then they got like a shulker box of elytras each. So I went out and grabbed elytra, and it was just a pain in the rear. I remember I had to go like 17,000 blocks. That would have made a really funny stream, I'm sure. I had to go like at least 7,000 or 17,000 blocks. I think I just chose a really bad direction. I don't remember if they just looted them all or if I was just extremely unlucky. But I had to go super far in that world just to get like a few elytra. I was just like, okay, I'm going home now that I got one. That was definitely a fun time. I think what helps the Newcraft SMP now is that it's on Java. Of course, that's one of the big things I wanted to push for. That's why Newcraft 4 happened, which I was pretty ambitious in calling it Newcraft 4. I was originally just going to call it Newcraft Java Edition because Newcraft had been on Bedrock Edition before that. I played it on Windows 10. A bunch of people played it on console. So the herd definitely thinned out in that transition to Java, especially with Java, like the actual Java seasons. Because I think Sarber was the last SMP, and that was a year ago. That was the last one on Bedrock. But yeah, I think definitely the fact that it is on Java, it's a lot more refined. And there's the voice chat, which I think is going to be or it is a lot of fun. I think in like community projects and things, it'll be very useful. It's been kind of buggy with like I know with like Brody and stuff, but well, I think the server itself is buggy by nature. I am not really running this server on a Miracle machine. It's my own computer, so it's gonna have hiccups. I remember Newcraft 4 had some hiccups as well because it was hosted on an old friend's computer. As like well, I couldn't figure out how to host back then before I used Feather and stuff. So it was hosted on a friend's computer, and he it was using Terralith, and he changed spawn to like a few thousand blocks away. I don't know how he found this spot. He must have been flying around for a long time to find it. It was a neat spawn. It definitely was cool. Like it was like kind of shattered savanna. Well, it wasn't really shattered savanna. It was its own biome in its own right. But there was like people who had spawned at like the regular spawn at 0, 0 before he changed the spawn, and so there was just like I think well, one of the members who was on Java season 1, who kind of came back to join Java, he spawned at 0, 0 and he had his base all over there, and he was wondering where everyone else was, and then he realized that everyone else was like a few thousand blocks away, and that was probably one of my favorite starter bases I've done. I think my Newcraft one right now is probably my favorite of all time. But that one was a lot of fun just because it was a very chaotic base. That one is I actually did stream, so you can check out the streams for that if you really want. I don't know if I'd suggest it, just purely based off quality of the videos. Just back then it was different. Like my streams just weren't as polished as they are now. I wouldn't say they're completely polished right now anyway. So yeah, it's just a bit more further down the food chain or down the way of things. But I've had some fun starter bases, certainly. But if the past has taught me anything, I'm really hoping Newcraft, as long as I just keep it going and I don't complain and I don't let things get to me, then it'll be a good time. It'll be a fun time. Me and Devin kind of hope it'll run for a good while anyway, because I mean, to get anything done on the server, it needs to run for a while anyway. We're not Hermitcraft by any means. We can't just whip up things like crazy. And Hermitcraft runs for like a year plus. The most recent season ended after like almost 2 years of running. It's just crazy what they can do. But I think we'd need to run almost that like level of time, like a year, half a year to a year at least, just to get like some cool stuff in the world. I think Hermitcraft 8 ran for, how long was it? 8 months. It ran for a short amount of time, and everything was on like a time crunch. It was interesting seeing how the hermits acted on a time crunch because stuff was just built so quickly in that season. It was an interesting season for sure. Most hermits actually didn't end up liking Hermitcraft 8 because it was so short. And I think a short season is nice if you're getting something out of it specifically, like you're getting something you want out of it, like you have like a specific expectation. Everyone has that expectation, I should say, instead of just one person, because yeah, we've just been accustomed to the short seasons because that's all the seasons have been in SMPs for me that I've hosted. But Heartcraft's definitely an interesting inspiration for just how to do things a little bit, not necessarily doing everything at like super speeds, but definitely can be very inspiring and kind of keep me going a little bit in that respect. Very sniffly. Don't have any clinics, do I? No, I do not. Ah, well, I won't worry about it. I'll keep going. Have another sip of my water. So I don't know how far I want to go today. I'm 75k. We started at 65k, I think. Wait, did I forget to write down an episode thingy? I'm already like 30 minutes into the episode in case I did forget. Was it the last one I did between a bet? Yeah, oh yeah, that was the last episode I did. And that went to 65. So we're almost 10,000 blocks. Wait, 10? That seems like a lot. Am I sure I didn't do like a short episode? Because I did end the episode at 6. Was it 65 really? That's just wild. If I did, I don't feel like I walked 10,000 blocks today already. Between a bed and a hard place. I don't know. I don't know what if I wrote the number down wrong or what. Let me check my trusty progress. Yeah, 65. That was on the 21st. It's really been a few days since I last done an episode. Yeah. It was the 22nd it uploaded. It's been a few days. So it's been even longer since the commentary. But if I do want to get to the Farlands anytime soon, I do definitely got to pick up the pace. And I mean pick it up for real. Like really start heading really start heading out and doing more episodes. Well, not necessarily more episodes, but longer episodes is what it is. It's the time now. That's the thing. That's wild. My last two Farlands episodes, Journey to the Farlands episodes, they're so good. They got 500, almost 500 views each, and they're both no commentary. It's crazy how these episodes are doing so well. And my new series. Oh, I haven't even talked about my new series yet. Oh my goodness. I started a new series on, I think, Saturday. I might be doing it every Saturday. I'm not sure. Depends on if I do stuff Saturdays. I think I work most Saturdays, but I can just do it during the day, or maybe do it on Sundays. We'll see. But I've started a new series. It's I'm just gonna be doing a let's play on Minecraft. I've started in alpha 1.0.4, I think it is. Alpha 1.0.4. Yeah, that's about right. And I'm going through the versions very slowly this time. I did something called Minecraft Through Time where I went through the versions, but I went through them really quickly. And this time I'm just going to take it real slow. It'll be a weekly series, and it's going to be unedited for the most part. I still have to go through the first episode actually and remove the mining chunks. Since not that many people have watched it, it's not that big of a deal yet. But I did also upload episode 3 of Newcraft. Was it? Yeah, episode 3. The end is the end, where we went to the end and fought the end dragon, and did the first end bust on the server as a group. And me and Devin did some end busting together, so it was a lot of fun. And I showed off my starter base too, which of course you've seen now, Cherry. I think the last time you were on, you saw it. I remember you checking it out. But yeah, I was showing that off, and I was writing down my plans for the next few episodes, which I know what I want to do now, which is I know I for sure want to tackle a gunpowder farm, or a way of getting a lot of gunpowder now that I've got an elytra. I want to do some netherite mining, get netherite gear with the new update. The harder challenge of getting netherite now is using all the diamonds to duplicate the trims, or not the trims, the templates, like the upgrade templates. That's what I'll do. I might try and slowly tackle that, and then of course I want to do armor trims as well. That is going to be a fun thing to tackle, which is armor trims, like getting all the armor trims and perhaps even selling them. Would be a kind of a neat shop idea. I don't know if anyone would buy them, but it's kind of neat to just have some like ambient shops in case people actually end up joining at some point. People just hop on like, oh, look at all these places. If only I had the diamonds to purchase all this stuff. But yeah, the Newcraft doesn't perform as well as Journey, but I'm not surprised by that. Journey is 206, heck, 270 episodes, almost 300 episodes I've done of Journey, and Newcraft I've only done 4. I guess 3 if you're counting the actual episode numbers, but I did 1 before that technically. Episode 0, which was the first day of the server. And then it seems my new playthrough series is going to be doing pretty well. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to the new series. I don't remember what I call it. I think I've just called it Minecraft or Beam of War Plays Minecraft. I don't know if I call it Minecraft Through Time because it's just called Beam of War Plays Minecraft, which is basically what it is. This technically I'm playing Minecraft here, but this isn't really a let's play traditionally. I'm not like building bases. Well, I guess I kind of contradict that with the outposts and things. But it's not like your traditional let's play, I should say. Like it's not. I don't know what to say that make it not not sound like what it already is. But does your username have a meaning? Yeah, it does. But I'm not gonna go too deep into the meaning of it, just because it's something I came up with as a kid. It has to do with like real life names and things. So like people's names and things. So I'm not gonna delve too deep into the name of it, of my channel, what it means, but just know it's something cool. I just realized I've never asked you that. Yeah. Ooh, Oh, hello. Oh, snap. Let me. Oh, no. No. Where are we? Yeah, the last bed. Didn't have any stew. Actually, I should sleep first. Okay, maybe I'll try and work my way back. And if not, we might be doing an outpost. That'll be an. I did say I wanted to do one before I started things up. Okay, we're right where we were at the end of the last day. So if I just keep going the general direction, I might be able to find my stuff. If not, then we'll figure out a plan. Yes, yes, we will. I don't know if I'll gather stuff right now. Okay. Realized my mistake when I when I didn't see any stew in my inventory. I was like, oh, that's nice. I broke I broke the streak. Oh goodness. Got a little distracted in conversation, I guess. Oh, I forgot to use my bow and my sword. I just just was not in combat mode apparently. I guess I might be doing an impromptu outpost or diamond mine or something or other. Don't know if I'll make it as formal as an outpost, but I might just have to. Well, I'm gonna see if I can recover my stuff. I don't exactly remember my path, honestly. I kind of take a different path every time I walk. So I hope I can find it. I might, oh gosh, I really don't know. I don't leave much of a telltale sign for where I've gone, other than like the past bit of the stream. Because I don't have coordinates. When I'm about to die, I should really just get the coordinates. That'd be a smart decision, wouldn't it? Instead of just being like, oh.